It's finally over. Kimetsu no Yaiba, the anime, has finally come to an end. Man, I'm gonna miss this series. I really am. Like, I've had so much fun watching this from start to finish. It has just truly been an enjoyable ride. And honestly, I'm heavily debating on picking up the manga, and I'll talk more about that in this video later on, but I want to kind of get the news out of the way that came out today and stuff that happened before I actually get into this episode review, because a lot did happen when it comes to Kimetsu no Yaiba, like, related stuff. So to start off, if you did not stick around for after the ending song, the finale of this episode, then you most likely missed it if you haven't been paying attention to the news or social media. Kimetsu no Yaiba got a Season 2 announcement. Now, even though I say Season 2, technically it is a movie. Now, I know many are going to be like, whoa, hold up. You're telling me that Studio Photable is wanting to make a movie on Kimetsu no Yaiba instead of making a Season 2? Yes. But there is some good things about this. This is actually kind of good news when you really take a moment to think about the possibilities here of them making a movie of this story. And I kind of want to explain why it is a good thing. First reason why is usually when it comes to anime typically have to be censored. That's just usually how it is. Anime really has a problem sometimes to where it's not the animators, it has to be censored. And I'm assuming that Kimetsu no Yaiba is probably a very bloody and messed up series. It's very possible that the manga has a lot of blood. I have not read it, so I don't know. I'm just assuming that could definitely be beneficial if there is a movie adaptation of it. But also, another reason why a movie adaptation is very good is because higher production values, more time to work on said content. And since they're not necessarily trying to cram, let's say, a 26 episode story like Season 1 into one movie, then it's not relatively going to be bad, because you got to think about it like this. The movie is going to be probably an hour and a half, probably 2 hours long, that literally depicts just one arc of the story. Now, I don't know how long the arc is. It could be split into multiple movies in terms of how long it is, but the big point, though, is a movie allows them to spend more time to work on said show. When you look at Kimetsu no Yaiba and its production values, its art style, its animation that we've seen presented constantly throughout watching this show, it has been absolutely beautiful. It's really stood out. It's honestly, it once again presses, like, and raises the bar on just how high quality a episode-by-episode anime series can be. And they've once again done it. I mean, they did this a long time ago with, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and then they showed us time and time again how good the movies for Fate can be, for instance, Heaven's Feel, and now they're wanting to make, Kimetsu no Yaiba's movie after making the first season of Kimetsu no Yaiba. So the movie is good news. I truly do believe in Studio Photable when it comes to movie adaptations. They've done a very good job. They have proved themselves constantly and consistently throughout all these years. So I'm not really worried, so to say. So here's the question I wonder, since I have not read the manga. Why would they want to do a movie adaptation? Well, most likely because something really insane is probably going to happen in the next arc. Probably a turning point for the story that really requires a lot of time and effort. And also, I think Studio Photable really does love this series, and so they're wanting to go the extra mile. And honestly, it's kind of very weird to really see a movie adaptation of an arc of a shonen. It's really different, honestly, because a lot of movies typically nowadays for anime, they're either standalone anime original, or they're just like a recompiled version compressing all the content into one movie. This is something that you constantly see. It's very rare you see a series have like a movie that's already had a TV series, have a movie continue it, that really is just an entire arc continuation, like Season 2. It's pretty cool. And I am looking forward to it, because it's probably going to be something that's going to blow all of our minds. I mean, if anything about the TV series says about it, then it's probably going to look amazing. So yeah, that's my piece on the movie announcement. I do really think it's going to be good, and I am excited. The only thing I am a little bit upset about, though, since technically the movie is confirmed pretty much to be Season 2, the movie could take a while to come out. And that would mean that the movie might come out sometime next year, later next year, which means that we're gonna have a long time to wait, because when it comes to movies, obviously there's more time that has to go into making them, so a longer wait, so to say. So if the wait is really, really long, like I earlier said in this video, in the video I made a few days ago, I'm probably going to pick up the manga. Like, if we don't have the movie released and I can't actually watch it around, let's say, winter of anime, 2020, man, 2020, can't believe that, it's already that year. Anyways, though, if I can't watch Kimetsu no Yaiba in winter of 2020 or earlier, then I'm going to start the manga. I'm just saying it right now. I've just got to wait and see. If there's an announcement, release date announced for, today, please let me know in the comments, and then I'll probably start the manga if it is really going to be later in next year. But okay, let's get into the other piece of news. I know many probably don't care, they want me to talk about the latest episode, but it was very important to talk about because it is Season 2 we're talking about here. Now, the other piece of news, which is going to be very quick, I can get over it real quickly, is that Kimetsu no Yaiba did it once again. It trended. Now, I know many might not care too much about, let's say, social media or Twitter, etc., but it's still a pretty big deal that an anime series was able to trend to become the #1 trending on Twitter. And this is not just for Japan, it trended worldwide #1. That's pretty freaking ridiculous. Literally, Kimetsu no Yaiba gained such a high popularity that it was trending worldwide on Twitter. #1 spot. That's crazy. That's legit crazy. It really just goes to show you how stunning this story has been to really reach that level of popularity, and obviously it's going to probably lead to some issues as well, because there's going to be people that want to join the series and probably are not really fans and want to start problems, and I've already talked about this in the past, but yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba, its growth has definitely reached an all-time high, and I think anyone that's probably a manga reader and even the original author of Kimetsu no Yaiba is probably just jumping for joy because of just how popular this series has gotten, and I think that's one of the big reasons why Studio Photable is probably wanting to do a movie adaptation, because of how this is pretty much, it's a money machine. It's a money-making machine at this point with how good it has been. So, okay, enough with that, though. Let's get into the content. I'm sorry for keeping you guys waiting. Let's talk about the last episode of Season 1. So, the start of this episode, the finale, was very grim. It was a very different tone that I honestly did not expect. And it really just shows how scary Muzan is as a demon and as the main villain of the story because of what he did to the lower moons. And let's just take a step back and think about what he did. The lower moons, even though they are technically the weakest among the 12 demon moons, they are still technically a part of a number system. And common logic from a shonen dictates that usually we would encounter every individual demon moon. It's a system that has happened for a very long time now in shonen. It is a common system. You have a group of enemies that pop up, they're all numbered, and they're stronger, like weakest to strongest, and eventually every main characters slowly work their way through them to get to that final point, until you finally fight the big bad, or a new group of numbered enemies pop up. And that's usually what happens. But Muzan, or the writer of this story, completely subverted expectations and destroyed the lower moon in an instant, to really just showcase how scary the final villain is of this story, and just his level of strength compared to the 12 demon moons. The 12 demon moons, as I've already said, they are literally basically the direct subordinates, the underlings underneath Muzan, which means that they're pretty much the best of the best. They are the strongest demons. And so because of that, you would assume that they would probably be somewhere near the man's level. But no. You clearly see that the way he brought them into this extra dimension and all that, they were scared, they didn't even know what was going on. He toyed with them. He toyed with them. He had them literally terrified for their very life. And they're the strongest, like the best of the best. Even if they're the lower moon, they still are incredibly powerful for demons. And they were just terrified. They were shaking, they were scared, they knew that something very bad was about to happen, and then they started to die left and right. They started to drop like flies, and it really just demonstrated how scary he was, because they were nothing to him. They were so insignificant that they couldn't even rival him. They couldn't even argue with him. They couldn't even do that. They didn't even have the privilege of arguing with him. That's just how powerful he was. That's scary. So, I really do like how my expectations was subverted with the lower moons. I figured we were going to see them for a while after what happened with Rui, you know, one of the other lower moons. But now seeing this, I'm just like, whoa, okay, definitely a different tone than I expected. We didn't even really get to find out much about them. No backstory, nothing. They were just literally meat grinded to death. Which, by the way, speaking of that scene, it's been a long while since I thought of a certain villain that I watched growing up. And that villain is Naraku. I don't know how many of you guys probably know who Naraku is, and some might have issues with the villain because one of the common complaints in, let's say, Inuyasha was that Naraku was around for too long because he was just such an important villain that, you know, the writer couldn't get rid of Naraku. That's just how central he was to the story. And you could kind of say that Muzan is that, but I'm not complaining he stayed around too long. I'm just saying that was the ordeal with Naraku. But getting to the main point of saying, it's been a while since I have thought about that villain. And the reason why I've thought of Naraku is because Naraku was someone that was all-powerful. He was someone that would have multiple underlings under him that were extremely powerful, hard to take down, that a part of the Sacred Jewel, and Naraku could just easily demolish them in a split second, just destroy them entirely. It's scary. It was really, really scary to just see how strong Naraku was compared to his direct underlings, and even, you know, beings he split from himself. And when you see how he basically devours the demons within the beginning part of this episode, it gave me that feeling once again, that Naraku was this all-powering being, which is kind of what Muzan reminded me of. He reminded me of that, like, that exact emotion, and I'm like, holy crap, it's been so long since I saw a villain quite like that. So, pretty good props. Props to Demon Slayer for really just reminding me of a villain I think is extremely underrated. Even if people have problems with him, I do think he's underrated as a villain. I do love him as a character. So, okay, with the tone being set, though, I want to go over each individual Demon Moon to kind of talk about their personality and why they died. So, the lower moons that died, you have the one that was obviously very skittish. Someone that was very nervous, kind of like a coward. He got demolished instantly. He was very strong, but got demolished. Then you had the other individual that was a coward as well. Someone that would run away anytime a demon slayer popped up. They would think about escape. And this really goes to show the capabilities of Muzan. This entire moment with the lower moons really shows how strong he is by his abilities and what he's capable of, which we found out he's able to read their minds. No demon could hide their thoughts from him. That means that he is able to perfectly know what they're thinking at any given moment, which is just terrifying. They cannot hide anything. They cannot have a secret plot to overthrow him, nothing. They literally are powerless in terms of their mind against him. Then on top of that, he also is able to demonstrate a level of ability to change his appearance and aura, which is absolutely scary. That means that no matter who you are, you relatively can't know who he is. He can easily blend in with society and change his appearance perfectly where you would not recognize him, which would explain why he's been able to hide for so long without being noticed, is because of that ability. It's because of him being able to shapeshift and change his overall appearance and aura. So it makes sense now why someone like Tundra was able to find him, though, is because of scent. You could change your aura, you could change your appearance, but you cannot change your scent, and that's basically what he followed, which was Muzan's scent, and that's how he found him. Unless Muzan could change his scent, Tundra is the only one that can actually find him. But another thing, getting back into the mind thing of mind reading, another scary thing about that is because of mind reading, he invades one thing that I think all life holds very dear. If there's one thing we have, it's our mind. When you think about us as humans, if there's one thing we can all agree on, there is one sanctuary we have in our life, and that is our mind. We're able to think anything we want in our mind, and nobody can hear it. Nobody can know what we're thinking. And that is, in its own way, a great thing. It's an amazing thing. It's scary, but it's amazing because you're able to have your own personal happy place sanctuary. And Muzan invades that. He completely invades that happy space, and he violates it. You have no secrets and no privacy, no free will, basically, to have your own sense of self. You completely serve this individual. That's scary. Another thing, too, is he also knows what actions they're doing at all given moments of their time as a demon. Because when he talks to the one girl that was scared, he's like, you're always running from demon slayers when they pop up, you think of escape, getting back into the, the lower moons. He watched her. That meant that he was watching them and he knew what they were doing. He knew when they were wanting to run away, when they're actually putting up a valiant fight. He knew. He knew how they were. So you have it to where he can invade your mind, but he also knows where you're at all times. Now that's saying a lot. So Muzan's capabilities have definitely been risen up with this episode alone. So getting into the next lower moons, you also have the individual that ran away. Now it's very obvious that he did not want to disobey Muzan. He knew that if he stayed there, he was going to die. If he knew he tried to talk with him, he was going to die. So he's like, you know what? He's not going to let any of us live. So the only option available to me is to literally run away. And that's what he did. He was very confident in his speed, but he got destroyed within a second. We don't really know what happened. We don't know if he got captured by the woman playing the instrument, or if Muzan was just that fast to get him. I'm willing to believe both. But the point, though, is that he got demolished, but he did show his loyalty, but he still ran and got demolished within a fraction of a second. So you can't even run from the man. Now, next character, we have the oldish looking lower moon that tries to beg him. He straight up is like, give me some blood. If you give me some blood, I can prove myself. Now, even though it's kind of cowardly to basically beg and all that, he was, in his own way, being very loyal to Muzan. Because he was showing that I am ready. I can acclimate to your blood. I can definitely prove myself. I can definitely show you that I can be very strong and take down demon slayers. He was definitely saying he was loyal. And I think that's kind of why he was left to like the last, as one of the last people to die, is because Muzan can read people's thoughts, obviously. He knows what they're thinking. And so because of that, he was probably reading the man's thoughts, and he knew that he was very loyal, he would die for him, but at the same time, he didn't know exactly how he would survive. He wanted a reason to keep him around, and since the man straight up begged, that meant that he died. If he wouldn't have begged, I believe that Muzan would have given him a chance, just like the last one that survived as well. I do believe that he would have survived if he did not beg, but who really knows? We don't know now because the man is dead. Now, the final one is very creepy and obviously going to be a very central piece to the upcoming story for the movie and for the manga if I read it, because the individual is just straight up unhinged. So unhinged, in fact, that the individual was willing to die no matter what, just to be able to serve Muzan, and was happy that Muzan would end their life. That's kind of scary in a way. It shows that he's just so brainwashed in a way, or so devoted, that he's bonkers. And I believe he probably views Muzan as a god, which is probably why he has undying loyalty for him, is because it's like, if you view a godly figure like that, you're willing to lay down your life for anyone. So I think that that's probably why he has such loyalties, because he views Muzan like a god. And I mean, how couldn't you? This man literally destroyed the lower moons like it was nothing, so anyone in his presence would be pressed to not say he's pretty much a god with the level of strength and power he possesses. So, okay, enough of that. Let's talk about the objective. So the objective that Muzan gave the individual was to hunt down the Hashira that's on the train, Flame Boy, but also hunt down Tanjiro, the one with the earrings, which definitely once again proves that Tanjiro in his family is a very central piece to whatever's going on with him. Because this is the second time he's initiated a hit order on Tanjiro. And you could assume that the reason why he's doing it is because Tanjiro saw him, but there has to be more than that. I mean, the man purposely targeted Tanjiro's family, let Nezuko survive, but on top of that, continues to do what he's doing to Tanjiro, send people after him, and Nezuko's so different, so there has to be a purpose of why he's doing this. Like, you know, Nezuko's not needing to drink blood, she's very different. I just feel like there's so much going on that it was purposeful for Muzan to even attack Tanjiro's family like he did. And for him to hunt down Tanjiro, he's kind of like a cog in the wheel that needs to be, like, removed completely. He's a cog that is useless. He needs to be completely removed because Nezuko is the only thing that's probably important to him. That's what I'm assuming. So, okay, anything else? I guess the later half of the episode, which focuses on, you know, character development for the little sister. She's someone that actually is able to see Tanjiro cheer her up and is like, from now on, you'll start, you know, saying what you want to say. You'll believe in your heart. And it's a very emotional moment. I do believe, even though Tanjiro cheered her up, I don't think it's going to change her instantly. It's just not how it works. I just don't think that Demon Slayer would go through so much, like, characterization and development these past few episodes just to see her change in one episode. I just don't think that is the case. So I do believe it's probably the start of change, but it's not going to be the main change to her character. It's probably going to be a lot more going forward. So, another thing, too, is Tanjiro's completed his training, so is Zen, and so has Inosuke. They complete their training, and they're able to get on the train to fight, which is where the next arc is going to be taking place. So it's very exciting, honestly. I'm very excited to see where the story is going to go and see just how much they've improved and see, you know, all of them have their own individual fights to go in against demons. But yeah, it's going to be great. I'm super excited. So I think that's about it. I think that pretty much wraps up everything that happened within this episode and all the information that came out today. I'm sorry for this video being a little bit long-winded. Please forgive me on that. I know some of you probably dropped off and don't care about the video now because of how long it is, but I really did enjoy watching this series. I enjoyed making these videos for the series, and thank you so much for sticking by and watching my episode reviews of Demon Slayer. Like I said, I probably will hop on the manga if we don't have a movie announcement very soon. I probably will jump on and start reading it and probably do chapter reviews as well. But okay, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe, stay healthy. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.